What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 201 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you played some golf. Nate and Ben are out, but my man Graysen Huff jumped in to save the day. We're going to talk some LIV Tour. We're going to talk his season, and then we're going to talk did I get screwed and just spend a whole bunch of money on a driver and just get sold. So tonight's episode is brought to you by Bet Online, the #1 sports betting website in the country. Graysen loves it. Log in today, sign up today, get a 50% welcome bonus. Use coupon code BLEAV, BLEAV, get a 50% welcome bonus. Give them $100. They're going to give you $50 back to play with. You got the live casino. You got golf you can bet on. You got baseball. You got all kind of stuff. Bet Online, it's where the game starts. So, Graysen, thanks again for jumping in. Ben's at the beach. Nate,
I wish I was at the beach.
Yeah, sometimes Sundays just sneak up on Nate when we record. So he's out, but we're gonna me and you we're gonna rock it. So
hey, does this put me like up there in the category with the Colonel for like best listener, or am I still a little bit below him?
You're just a smidge behind him, but
okay.
But you're working your way up there.
Shout out to him for listening to everything.
Every episode.
I feel like I listen to a lot, but I can't believe that he listens to all of them.
Oh man, yeah, and he loves you too. He's a big Auburn fan, big Graysen Huff fan, just like we are. So this week was the Scottish Open, and some of the scuttle that happened. Always leads up to the Open the following week. Big story: Greg Norman was uninvited from the Champions Dinner, Champions Ceremony. He's a 2-time winner. He called it "quote unquote" petty. Is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Are we overreacting, underreacting? What do you think about it? Because I have a take too. I'll get it. I'll hit it after you go.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what you say. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not. It's important to go to those things. And as a past champion, like, I think he should be able to go. Like, if he doesn't follow along with everything, then like, so be it. But also they're trying to make a point. So point made, point taken, I guess.
Yeah.
But those guys, like, everybody knows each other out there. And so that's one of those things where them not inviting him is going to be the talk around the water cooler a little bit. And then, they got a couple older guys that are going to be there that are going to be sitting, right where Greg would be sitting. And it's just kind of one of those things where I think it's just them. It's just all politics and,
Sure.
petty, whatever. I feel like we're watching C-SPAN sometimes with their arguments. It's like, really, like, let's just play golf.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of a take on it. So Greg has pretty much been a recluse for quite a while. Like, he hasn't played in the Open since 2009. Normally it's pretty publicized when these guys go to these things. Like, do we even know that he's been to the Champions Dinner in like the past however long? Like, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't,
Yeah.
but you just don't ever see him on TV footage even before things went bad. So I'm not a pro LIV guy, but I've enjoyed the conversation. I've enjoyed the, everything that could possibly come from it. So I've definitely been on the defending side some, but like, this is one where I think Greg is just this is nothing more than a opportunity for publicity. And he was uninvited, and it's become a big deal, even though I don't really think he's been that involved with RNA and the Open and stuff like that for like the past, however, because that's just who he is.
Yeah, I bet from a behind the scenes standpoint, I'm sure that he's more involved than we would give him credit for and that we see.
Sure.
Obviously they're going to make anything that he does right now a media thing. But I agree with you. I think it's just something that I think he put his application into play because he knew what was going to go on with LIV. And he's like, I just need, because right now for LIV golf, any publicity is good publicity, bad, good, whatever. So anything that he does, I think is kind of categorized towards that.
would there really have been a threat for anything had he gone? Like, was there a reason to uninvite him other than just to be, like he said, petty? Is there anything you could have worried about with him being there, or is it just to say, hey, let's make a statement?
Maybe like, all the players' lockers have a live flyer on them. I don't, but I don't think that there was anything. I mean, it's like saying that, past Masters champions can't go play. Well, it's like they do that every year. They cordially uninvite guys to tell them not to play because they want better talent playing.
Right.
It's not like, it's not a, we don't like you. It's just they're trying to get a better field. And I bet their thing was like, well, we don't want you to play really because you don't play anymore.
Yeah.
But, he's blowing it up. And then he's also going to the champions dinner. They're like, well, we don't really want you on property because we want it to be, because it is really special. This year is
it's
incredible.
huge.
It's the 150th. It's at St. Andrews. People are talking like it's going to be Tiger's last, hurrah. Like there's so many better storylines than the whole live golf thing.
Sure.
So,
And I'm with you on that.
yeah. So I just think I think he's getting his, media sound bites, whatever he can get kind of thrown in there, get some more supporters for the live tour. And I think they had to do it. I think they just had to say no. And that's kind of where it was. I don't think it's going to kill him to say yes, but I think if it says yes, then it's like, well, the USGA did this, the RNA did this, the PGA did, it just you start picking sides at that point. And I just think they just wash their hands.
If he had been going every year, he had been putting in his application, he had been playing every year since 2009, and it was something where it seemed
It was special to him and it meant something to him other than, I don't think they would have uninvited him. I think if it was, but he literally put his application in to play this year, and he hasn't done that for like multiple years. So he was only doing it just for the, they'll talk about it on TV. We'll get publicity that way. So that's why I don't see this as such a big deal. They're like, no, you haven't done this in a while, so we're just not going to let you come at all now. Like, what do you want to come now because you started this rival golf tour? Like, no, just sit home. And you know what? Even though I've been sort of not pro live, I kind of side with them on this one. Just because he hadn't cared that much prior.
Hey, I give you kudos on that answer because I think I agree. I mean, I think that's what it is.
All right. So piggybacking off that, the Scottish Open was this week. I believe Xander Schauffele
At 7, I just pulled it up.
went ahead and took it. I think he was pretty much wire to wire. He played pretty good. I think the conditions I was listening to a little bit of the replay. They said that this course a lot of times can play more American than usual, like more like an American course than usual. And they were really fired up because it was real hard, real firm, a real true links test. Also, they said it was the 13th oldest golf course in the whole world, which is just wow to me.
Yeah, I've been over there a bunch. I played in 5 British Hams, and we went to a lot of clubs. And it's that to me, I get a lot of flack for this, but that to me is a true test of golf, because it is not about how far you can hit it, how accurate you can, or like how far or how close you can get your wedges or how good your putter's on. It's very much like the whole thing about what I think it was Nate was complaining. It was either Ben or Nate were complaining about how they don't like getting bad tee times with wave, differences and something. But like over there, it's legitimately like, you got to get a good wave. You've got to play solid. You can hit drives right down the middle of the fairway and they will roll into a bunker and you literally have to hit out sideways. And I just think it's so golf over there. And I was asked, what do I think they need to do to golf to make it like more entertaining? I think they need to make it harder.
Yeah.
like
Make the
for
courses tougher.
well, for the pros, like when you guys watch guys shoot 80 as a weekend warrior, dad bod golfer, whatever, you go out and watch a pro guy shoot 80, you go, I can beat him. I can go play there.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you like that fun
Relatable.
of like, yeah, like you watch Steph Curry shoot threes and you're like, I can do that. Like, like, yeah, I'm kind of like him in a way, but when they go through and they play this Scottish Open and 7 under wins, and I just looked at a scorecard, but Spieth had a double and a bogey coming down the stretch, so he was right in the mix.
I saw him. He was greenside in a bunker, hit it just past the pin and rolls like 50 yards away, like
yeah,
down the hill. Down. I mean,
it was crazy, and somehow he got up and down from there for bogey.
Yeah, and am I saying that it's fair? Like, no, not at all. It's like it's the same as hitting a drive down the middle and you end up in a divot. Like, it's not fair. Like, it sucks. But like over there, like that's golf. Like that's how it is. And I don't know. It's more special to me than a lot of other guys, especially American guys. But I also like I've played enough over there where I think I respect it a little bit more.
Yeah,
so
for sure. So it was, definitely. So it was fun to watch. True Links
had a True Links feel, kind of get you ready for next week. But the question I had is, so this is the second opportunity that we've seen LIV Tour guys. We had the US Open, and then we had this, where we had 4 guys from the LIV Tour participating in an event with PGA Tour golfers, the top golfers in the world. And so far, out of two rounds, 2 tournaments, the best that we've had is like one top 25, I think. Brendan Grace, who won the LIV Tour event last week, I think finished top 24.
Yeah.
Ian Poulter shot like a million on Friday, didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And then you had Justin Harding was like a 60 T66, and then another guy's name I can't really pronounce. It was way out there too. So after 2 go-arounds, am I overreacting or properly reacting or underreacting to LIV Tour golfers once they get money up front? Are they soft or like, what does that make it to where the motivation's not there? Like, what's your takeaway from that?
I'd like to see him play more events. I think you're overreacting. I just think it's like that, like I was mentioning earlier, that Scottish golf and like links golf, you can have the best player in the world go out there and play and get a bad tee time, bad weather, some bad breaks. And I swear, I'm telling you right now, he'll play good and shoot like 75 or 78. Like, and I'm not saying Scotty, because he's number 1 right now, is going to do that. But what I'm saying is, like, go look at the Open scores when they play this year, and like you're going to see some really good names not make the cut at the Open. And it happens every year. So just because of the tournament, I think you're overreacting. I think there might be some of it when you start going through, but these guys, they play golf for a living, and they're getting a lot of money to play 7 events in a year. But I guarantee you, like, there's enough incentive for them to go play and play well that they're going to still kind of keep the game up and try to go. Is the majority of them going to, try to be world beaters still? I don't know. I still think like PGA Tour, just because of how hard it is to get your card and to be there and to keep your card and go through it, is going to make better golfers in the long run at the moment. But I mean, I think in the next few weeks, you're going to see more guys go over there to play LIV and get some cash.
I think after this week, it
could get wild after the this last major, this is the last major now. After this one's over, I think it could get wild at some of the names. Like, there was a report about just Jordan Spieth, and then he backed off. He said, no, it's not me. But like, that report just doesn't come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, there was definitely some conversations that were had that got out that didn't need to get out. But no, so going back to the conversation. So, Lee Trevino always said, the way to play better is play for all the money that you have in your pocket of that day or whatever. Basically, in other words, when there's pressure, when there's like got to on the line, it makes you play better. You don't think that, getting all this money up front, because I was just looking at the finishes at the US Open. You had like, I don't know, 15 or so LIV Tour guys, only 4 make the cut. And then you got this week you had only 4 guys in the field, 1 doesn't make the cut, 3 finish. Not really. I mean, they just finished. They don't, nothing really challenging anything. You don't think that having money, like I said, having your pocket line, I guess these guys have a lot of money anyway, but when you got that kind of money added on top, you don't think we need more data, basically?
I think you're going to need more data. I think it's going to be personal too, like between the guys. I think like if I had to go out on a limb and make, if I had to put money down on what guys are going to like end up being soft and whatever, like I think from listening to like Pat Perez and stuff like that, like he's going to be one of those guys that's like, give me money, I'll play 7 events, I'll hang out, I'll do whatever. But then like I'm spending time with the family, the kids, all the stuff. Whereas I think like a Jordan Spieth or a Rory, if they went over there, I think they're doing it to get money. But I also think like they would be the type of person that would like, I want to win a green jacket. I want to win this.
Yeah.
Like they're still trying to make
What about a
name.
Dustin Johnson? What about a Dustin Johnson?
See, Dustin's a weird one because
or Bryson.
Bryson, I think, is just Bryson's Bryson. Bryson just wants to do whatever the hell he wants to do. So if he's getting money to go, he wants to have his YouTubers out there, and
that's wild seeing the pictures of that.
He wants to have his drones flying around. Like he just wants to go out and do Bryson. DJ, I think, just doesn't give to whatever, and just he's just like, hey, I'm just making money, I'm playing golf. Like he's still a competitor. I think he like wants to play, but I think he's just out there like, he's just getting money, getting a check. Him and Brooks are really similar in my opinion. Like I feel like their personalities, like if you put them in a room, it'd be like listening to 2 walls talk to each other. I mean, it's just awful. Not a lot going on. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
I think we probably need a little bit more. We need a little bit more opportunity. This week will be interesting because there will be several LIV guys in the field. And then I guess we won't see anything unless there's some sort of agreement or something. We won't see LIV Tour versus PGA Tour guys for quite a while after this coming week. So it'll be interesting to see. So speaking of data, I know you've heard our
data.
You've heard our data, whatever you want to call it. The data that you get from using the Blue Tee rangefinder can definitely, it may not help you because you're just already at the peak, but guys like me helps us tremendously. And you don't have to spend a ton of money to get it. Has the infrared lock on, buzz pin when it hits the pin, toggle on and off slope. I know you can't use slope. Can y'all use rangefinders? You can use rangefinders, right?
We can use rangefinders in Latin, no slope, no barometric pressure, no elevation.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So, but you can have all that when you're playing with me. So you toggle on and off slope. You can flip it to scan mode, hit bunkers, hit trees, hit the other side of the fairway, whatever you got to do. This thing gets it to you for a fraction of the price. Use coupon code DADBOD, take 10% off your order. BlueTees.com. Check them out. All right. So let's talk about you. Season is either all the way wrapped up, close to wrapped up, PGA Tour Latin America. Tell us how that all went. What's on the roadmap? What's the future hold? And then let's just talk about it and have some fun. I know you had a hole in one this year, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. With a 5-iron.
With a 5-iron,
nice.
You hate that club. Hate that.
No,
shot.
That's my hole in one club. You put me on a par 3 with a 5-iron. It has a good chance. I don't know what it is. It's got something to it. But no, season's wrapped up. Season's finished. So we finished up in the last week of June. We played in Tulum. I played solid. I finished 53rd on the money list. So I get to keep my card. But I don't move up any status in Q school or anything like that. So still have to go to first stage. And then just right now, like this episode will come out and I will be on the course trying to Monday qualify for a Corn Ferry event.
Nice.
And so that's kind of what I'm doing for a little
Springfield,
bit. Yep.
Illinois?
I'm
Springfield,
up in St. Louis is where the qualifiers are. So,
Nice.
but we're doing that. Just kind of bouncing around a little bit. Got some mini tours. I got a
Just had a win.
yeah, I just got another win. So got one of those trunk checks, those big checks.
Yeah.
That's what
Happy Gilmore.
I should have brought it in and put it up behind me.
That would have been such a flex. Just the headboard was just your check.
Yeah, he goes, the guy's writing my name on there and he goes, "Do you just want Graysen or you want me to put something else on there?" And I was like, there's nothing else I need to put on a giant check. Like there's nothing. Like I was thinking like my twiddle handle, which is AU Spud Farmer.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there going like, I don't want to look at this in like a year from now and be like, why didn't I just put my name on it?
You should just put your Venmo on it. Is what you should have done. Put your Venmo on it, and then
When you're flashing around, boom, money starts rolling in.
Well, one of my roommates wants me to he wants to take it so he can hang it in his man cave. And I was like, it doesn't say your name on it. He's like, so it looks cool. Like
Let me get that thing. Yeah, that's I mean, you can't take that thing to the bank. I mean, I assume you get the direct deposit. You don't take the big check in.
No, we got a little paper check and then he gives us the styrofoam one. So
that's cool to have. Like you're racking up on checks.
I know. I'm hopefully gonna win a bunch of those, and then I'm gonna recreate that Happy Gilmore scene where he throws it in the back of his truck and there's just like 20 of them.
Yes, love that. That's the greatest. That's the greatest.
I was thinking of that line too when he like hands me the little check, and I was like, no, I want one of those big checks.
I want one of the big ones. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you said you get to keep your card, but you have to go to Q school.
Explain that part.
So I have full status on Latin America.
Gotcha.
So I'll get into all 12 events next year. But to move up in the ranks and to move forward,
like Corn Ferry and whatnot.
Corn Ferry Q school. So
got it.
The only Q schools that they do are Corn Ferry and then DP World Tour. So when you play those, like top 25 on the Latin money list would have gotten to second stage instead of having to go through first stage. And then if I would have finished top 10, it would have gotten me to final stage of Q school. So there's incentives to help move you forward as you play down low.
Gotcha. Is there any thoughts like trying
for the DP tour? Is there any
No, there's been a ton of guys that I've talked to and a lot of people, especially with some of the changes that they're going to do, which is the changes on the outside look good, but I think they're going to hurt more than they do good for guys like me. But we're going to seriously look into European tour just because right now, this is the last year that you can do Q school and get straight to the European tour if I were to play really good. So like Kozan's finish last year at Corn Ferry, if he would have done that on European tour Q school, he would have been on the DP World Tour this year.
Oh wow.
So it's a big, like there's a big swing over there, but then also with them partnering and doing things there could be a lot of opportunities over there versus kind of what we're seeing in the States. So
I know it's really expensive to do a Q school. Can you
do both? Are they held at the same time, or like if you do one, can you not do the other? How does that work?
They will gladly take your money for both of them. But they schedule them so that they overlap. So
you got to pick one.
Well, so you can play the first stage of Corn Ferry and the second stage of Corn Ferry Q school. And if you make it through both of those and then you play in Europe and you make it through first stage, then the finals of Corn Ferry and the finals of European Tour or DP World Tour are the same dates. So you would have to pick one. Mm-hmm. So you can't play, like you couldn't get both cards.
Boy, you'd have to be strapped to be able to pull that off though. Like to be able to go through the stages and go do the back and forth. Like it would have to be, that's got to be a ton of money.
Yeah, I think you could do it. I don't think it would be that uncost effective if you did it the right way. Like if you planned it right now, planned all your trips, and kind of, used your points and did things, I think you could do it. I think it'll cost a pretty penny because they haven't come out with DP World Tour cost, but I mean, Q School this year is $6,500 for Corn Ferry. And then that's just to enter.
Just to
That's
get in.
Just to get in. And it's more if you have to go to pre-Q. And then last year, DP World Tour was around $4,000. So I mean, you're looking at 10 grand to do both, just right there.
Just to get in them.
Yeah, just to play, and with no guarantees on what happens. So
that's tough. That's awesome though. I've heard about guys trying to go over there to Europe and doing well. So I'll be anxious to see, or curious to see how things play out. Cause I mean, you get either way, you got to play to get in. You got to get in, play good to get in. So it'll be fun. Obviously we're going to be rooting for you and hoping everything turns out for the best. But you got how many? So you're going to Monday qualify. You're Monday qualifying. When you're listening to this, you'll be Monday qualifying. So we'll be watching that. We'll be giving updates. Springfield, Corn Ferry has 3 weeks left after this week, 3 more events and then playoffs.
They got 3 more events and then playoffs. So they're going to go Springfield, Illinois. Then they go it's like Springfield, Missouri, or some like town right around there. And then they go to Utah, I believe.
That's right.
And then I think their finals, they'll go Boise, and maybe like Portland, or I think they kicked Portland. So I think they go.
I think so too.
I think they go Boise and then they come back over here and then go back over there, I think, or something like that.
So you'll definitely go do those 2, right? Since that's kind of home, the Utah and the Boise.
So for the final 3 events, they don't do any Monday qualifiers or sponsors invites. So I'm not able to go qualify for Boise, but the
Gotcha.
Utah, I'm thinking about going out there.
You got to do that because our primo guys are from there.
We got to get you hooked up with the primo guys.
Need some joggers, right?
Yes, that's how Blaine got hooked up with them at the Utah event, if I'm not mistaken.
They're giving me this is a good shirt, but I ordered the wrong size in my shirts, so I'm wearing like 09, no, not even 09, like 2000s Tiger look. I mean, like giant baggy shirts. Yeah. And there's a few guys that have just been giving me hell about it on tour. So I definitely need some help with that, but we'll try to size right coming up this year.
Yeah, we'll work that out. We'll get that squared away for you. All right. Last thing. Okay. I did a club fitting this weekend. Okay. And I've always been very skeptical because one time I did a club fitting indoors and they're telling me, oh my God, you're hitting at 340. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're just hitting into a simulator. So I'm like, is this real? I didn't end up buying the clubs because they're putting me in all this stuff. And they're like, oh my God, look, now you're hitting it. You're hitting it this. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. So I've always been skeptical. I had the sim 1 to start off with, and I could absolutely pummel it. I mean, absolutely send it. And then the top like the carbon fiber cap one day just exploded, just popped off like a bag of popcorn. And so I sent it was within a year. So I got my club pro to send it in, and they were like, good news, bad news. We can get you another driver. They don't make the sim anymore, but we're going to give you a sim 2. And I was like, okay, awesome. I just upgraded. So I get the sim 2 and I've never been able to hit it. I feel like my spin rate, it goes just crazy through the roof. I try to manipulate my body to get the ball flight down and all this kind of stuff. I've never been able to hit it. And our new club pro says, dude, you got to try the stealth. You've got to hit the stealth. This is the lowest spinning driver I've ever had. I can't spin it. He's like, it's unbelievable. You got to try it. So, I'm thinking again, I'm trying to get sold, so I'm like,
right.
I don't know. But finally I was like, let's just do it. What's the word? It's going to be outside. So at least I'll get to see the ball flight. So I'll know I'm not getting screwed. So they bring the TrackMan out there. I got to send you my numbers. Like, it's unbelievable. So he's like, I want you to hit 10 shots with your driver. So I hit 10 shots with my driver. My dispersion was 100 yards. Okay. With my driver from left to right was 100 yards. Spin rate was like 3,600 to 4,000, which is not anything desirable at all. And then he gives me the sim. And the first one I hit, it's 2,100 spin, absolute piss missile, just out there, little baby draw. And I was like, okay, it's probably a fluke. And then just driver after driver, just out there, hovering right around 2,500 spin, 2,500 RPM spin rate. Picked up like 18, 20 yards of carry, another 20 to 25 yards overall. And I'm like, I mean, I'm just about to buy everything this guy's going to give me. I mean, it's just, I mean, the data is right there. I mean, I can't, what can I do? My dispersion goes from 100 yards to 40.
As long as he didn't, roll up in the car right there and go, hey, you want to buy some golf clubs, and
Like
flip
Nate,
up the trunk. And,
yeah. Nate swears I got screwed. Nate swears I got screwed. I don't know. It seems almost too good to be true. And he did tell me, he's like, look, I'll just be honest with you. I almost got fired over the Sim 2 head. He's like, it's the worst driver heads TaylorMade's ever made. It's the most spinny driver head. He goes, they rolled it out too fast after the Sim 1. He's like, I got in trouble because I go to these PGA qualifiers or PGA sectionals, PGA Pro sectionals, and I wouldn't play it. And TaylorMade was like, you got to play the new stuff if you're the TaylorMade rep. He's like, I could never hit it. And I was so glad when these stealths came out. And I was not a believer. I've never been like a huge, go get fitted guy, because I just feel like they're trying to sell you something the whole time. But I'm like, I'm in. I bought everything. I bought everything they had. I bought everything they had. Did I get scammed? Is it legit? Help me feel better.
Have you played with it yet?
I have not played with it yet, but I did do this. It doesn't come in until like towards the end of July. They're a little bit behind, a couple of weeks back. But today I went and got the Head Pros. He has a stealth, and it's a little bit different shaft. I got a super low launch shaft on mine. His is like a mid launch. And I was like, I just got to go see if this thing's a fluke. And he's actually going to let me use it because I'm playing in a tournament this coming up weekend.
Okay.
And I went out there and I called I said right after I texted him, I was like, it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. I was hitting it a little bit higher, but just no spin, baby draw. And you've seen me play. Like I couldn't turn the ball over right to left. It was a cut, everything, because I'm trying to do all this. I didn't feel confident. I'm just going out there and just ripping this thing. Yeah, I'm in. It's not a fluke. I've sold myself. It could be all between my ears, but I'm believing it's the club was the missing link.
I think that it's going to be twofold. I think you're going to have a little bit of, it's going to have a little new car smell. Yeah. So you're going to really enjoy it, and you're going to really remember the good ones, and you're, gonna really enjoy it. And I think I'll be the first one to tell you, like, you want to get better at golf. There is definitely a need to go get fitted correctly for stuff, but you have to be fitted correctly. And I think that part of that is actually not hitting into a net or a simulator, but out on a range, watching the ball fly with good balls, like balls that you are going to kind of normally play with, which is a lot of things that people don't necessarily have access to. So first off, I think you did the right thing there. And then going through it, though, I think like you're going to have a little new car smell with it. It's going to be great. You're going to hit some good ones, but there'll be a point when you start hitting some bad ones. And that's just the swing. Like over time, your swing changes every day. And so they're going to fit you, and they're going to fit you to the swing that you had that day. And as long as you can do a good job of keeping your swing kind of there, you're going to hit it pretty good. And it might be, I know for a fact that like the Titleist driver that I have is way better. I have the TSI, and it's way better than the model that they had before it. It was TS2 or whatever. Yeah. But like, I was like you, I hit that one and just didn't like it. It looked the same. It was set up the same, but just didn't like it. And then I got this one and I was like, oh, no, I like this one. Like I can hit this one and go through it. So I'll be interested to see how you play with it. Yeah. Because
obviously it's
the way
different.
you're talking, you're making me seem like you're gonna think and keep saying that you can break 80 at Augusta, but I'm gonna
No, I
still,
never said it 80. I
I'm
never
still
said
gonna
80. I
slap
said
the
90.
over. I'm still gonna slap the over.
Oh, I never said 80. I said 90. I can break 90 at Augusta, not 80. Hey, I broke 90 at Eastlake. How about?
Hey, that's when you needed that driver.
Yeah, I needed that driver that day because I hit my irons and my wedges so good, but I was in trouble a lot because
Yeah.
I just don't have I have no idea. I have no idea which way the ball's going to go with that other
And-
drive. I mean, 100 yards of dispersion. I mean, there's
And
not,
you
you
need
can't
to-
play many courses that way.
You need
know?
to go play Grand National after a big rainstorm when it's really wet, so you can actually see how far you're hitting it, you're carrying it, because
Yes.
that will definitely tell you too, because that course can get long once it's when there's no roll. But
yeah.
in the summers in Auburn, when they're a little dry and a little hot, you can pump some balls out there for a little
yeah.
while.
Oh, and when AU club's open, it's going to be firm, and we're just going to be sending it rolling forever. I can't wait to rip one up number 4 and it just roll for 100 years or down 7. Oh man, it's going to be awesome.
Or
You
you're
got to
gonna
come
hit,
back.
you're gonna hit one on 3 and it's gonna go through the fairway and off the left side.
Oh yeah, but it's going to get caught in that bunker.
Oh, did they put in a bunker?
There's
now?
going to be a bunker over there.
Oh
So
boy.
you got to come back. You got to come back and see it once it opens in October. It's going to be spectacular. So you're maybe I made a good investment. Maybe I didn't just get sold. You don't think it, I mean, I got to send you my numbers so you can see it, but
I think there's 2 questions that I have, and one of them pertains to yours, and that would be like, I want to see how you play with it on the course.
yeah.
And then I want to know who got the better deal and driver between you and Nate with the out of the trunk driver. So I want to see the difference between those two and see who ended up with the better
I've been
club.
hitting the 3-wood. I've been hitting the 3-wood. He hasn't even hit it yet. I gotta get it back to him. I hit it at Eastlake, and I had a good round going until you've played Eastlake, right?
Yep.
Ripped one down the middle on 14s, par 5,
Okay.
down the hill. And when I say ripped one, I mean, I still had, I don't know, 270 yards in. It didn't quite get to where
Yeah.
it rolled down the hill. It was right at the top, and pulled out the 3-wood and just roasted one out of bounds, straight out of bounds right. And it's a long way to get it out of bounds right. So I'm not really a big fan of that 3-wood.
So you're blaming Nate's 3-wood. It
It's
wasn't you, it
definitely-
was the 3-wood.
It's a 3-wood. It's a 3-wood from a like a drug dealer. So I mean, what can you say? I mean, what are you going to get out of that? But no, I got the sim. I got a new 3-wood coming. So I got the driver and the 3-wood.
and the 3-wood.
Yep, same shaft setup, a little bit heavier for the 3-wood, but I'm pumped. I'm pumped to get it. I'm pumped to play this coming up weekend in this tournament. I'll send you some scoring updates as what I'm watching you hopefully get into the corner.
We need to do like a episode 300 when you get there, and just kind of like a recap. Okay, let's go talk about this driver that you had and see if you still feel the way you do right now. Cause I think you're a little excited.
I feel like I'm having to like convince myself that it's legit. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have cognitive dissonance or whatever it is, buyer's remorse, but you're like, nah, it's good. It's good. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Were you hitting it at the range at Auburn and downhill or uphill?
So when I got fitted, I hit uphill.
Okay.
And then today it was the up one was open, and I was hitting them now it was the front of the box. It was the front of the box, but I was hitting them onto the tee box on the bottom, like in the air. So, I mean,
and it hasn't rained in like 3 months, right? So it's rolling all the way through.
No, flying it there. I'm telling you, I was flying it there. It was not rolling. I mean, but that is way downhill. Like that's probably what 280 carry from the front of that tee box to the bottom. I would say something like that, maybe.
Yeah, when we got in the new drivers and stuff, I think my sophomore year, and we were hitting them, I think we calculated it about from the front was like it's like a 280, 290 carry. So I mean, it's a good poke.
It was downwind too. The wind was, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little help from the wind, but no, it was I don't know. It was fun. I text Jake, our new pro, and I was like, it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. I'm in.
Hey,
I'm in. I'm a stealth guy
if
now.
it fixes you, I mean, I gave Ben
The
I gave Ben
AVX.
the new balls, and he
He's hitting
loves
them.
those.
He's loving them.
So put that in with a new driver, and he might start beating up on you guys now.
Ben's solid, man. He's going to shoot. He's not going to shoot over like 81, 82 anytime he plays. It's just that's about what he's going to shoot, but he's going to shoot it every single time. So you better, for us, you better go low, or he's going to beat you. He
So I
just
think
never gets in trouble.
So I think we just set the groups then. I think it's me and Ben versus you and Nate.
How we got to be catching? But what are we catching? What are we catching on this?
I don't know. I think, well, if I got Ben, then Ben's got to get a few.
Sure. I mean, he can have a few, but I mean, we got to be catching. I'll play with Blaine, and Blaine gave me 10 this last time we played and just pummeled me.
5 aside or like just 10?
5 aside. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was,
I gave my old roommate 7 one time, and I was like, you can have 8 and still beat him by like 3. And he was like, dude, you got to stop this.
we'll see. Well, let me get this stealth heated up, and then maybe we'll have a round. Maybe we'll have a round 2. Hey, well, me and you we're undefeated right now, so we got to the only time we've played together.
True.
We've won money, so we got to keep the streak going, dude. Thanks for jumping on last minute. You saved the day. We'll give Nate some hell later, but we really appreciate it.
No worries.
Wish you best of luck, and keep us posted. As you're listening to this, I'm sure you've qualified, you've got in on the Monday qualifier. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you play on the weekend. And, obviously we're going to keep talking. I'm going to send you some vids of me just smoking this stealth, just roasting it. And
I'm going to get off the golf course and sign my card for a little 62 tomorrow. And I'm going to have videos on my phone of you just striping drivers.
Just striping I'm going to put a shot tracer on it. Dude, hey, speak real quick before we leave. So we had the episode talking about signing your scorecard and how dumb it is. And then you had a scorecard fiasco, right? Shortly after it.
I did. And it was not pertaining to signing your scorecard. It was pertaining to adding your score correctly. So I played this hole. It's the 18th hole in Guadalajara. And it was on the first day that I played. And I was on the box. I was 5 under on 17T, and I made a bogey on 17, which is a hard par 3. It's like 220, 220 plus. Yeah, 5 iron. And then we get to the next hole, and it's a hard dogleg left, par 4. It's like a 3 iron wedge, just because of altitude and everything. Snap hooked it left because I was trying to do too much with it. Ends up in a tree, so I have to take it unplayable. Then I hit it over the trees, and it ends up in more trees over the cart path across the green up against the out of bounds fence. And I couldn't take like an unplayable and get it out. So it took me 2 hacks to move the ball like 10 feet maybe to get it to a spot where I could take an unplayable. And then, so I took an unplayable, then got relief from the scoreboard that was behind the green.
Oh my gosh.
So I was 30 yards and I had to rotate it around to get on the other side of the green, like 30 yards away, drop, punched it up onto the green from there, which I was still in the trees where I dropped, and then 2 putted. And so when we counted it up, it counted up while we were there as a 9. Well, went in, signed this card, did everything. Well, the guy that was playing with me, we finished the round after the 4th round. So final day on this, that score happened on Thursday. I made the cut and I signed my scorecard on Sunday. And the guy that was playing with me the first day sent me a text message. He was like, hey, I have a question for you. Are you still at the golf course? And I was like, yeah, I just finished up, like, come over at scoring, meet me there. So he said that because everybody had been talking about that ruling because there was so much that happened.
Yeah.
And I shot even that day with a 9. So it was just like, it was ridiculous. But so we're going through, or excuse me, I put an 8 on there on the scorecard. And it added up to a 9. But I put an 8. I shot even with the 8. So then we go through everything. The guy was going through all of it. when we counted it up again afterwards, he said he was talking to a rules official because she wanted to like hear what happened from a guy that was in the group. And then she was the one who found out that it added up, or seemed like it added up to a 9. And so when we came back and we re-added it, it added up to a 9. And like we went through all the shots, we sat down and like, drew them out, and basically it was a 9. So at that point I had to go to the tour officials and be like, hey, I have a scoring issue. Like I need to basically show you guys like, hey, I messed up. I counted the wrong score here. We need to go through it. And it sucked. I mean, I finished 20, I think I finished 23rd in the event. But I ended up getting DQ'd because of it. And it's just because the rule is if you sign for a lower score than what you actually had, it's a DQ. And so that just it sucks.
Do they not have walking scores with you or
No,
officials? No.
not at that point. And it's not like, see, the crazy thing was about it was my scorer and the third guy in our group all added it up, and we all got to an 8. There was a rules official right there that helped me like add up half of it to where we were to like, hey, you're hitting your fifth shot or whatever. But we didn't like, I don't know how we missed it. Like I don't understand. And granted, like I was 5 under with 2 holes left, knew I was going to make a big number, like there's a lot of emotions going on, and I feel like I handled everything really well. It's just for whatever reason cannot add in that standpoint, I guess.
If you, that's the thing about, but that's so, if you count it and your partner counts it and the official
Counts it. That should just be it. Like you don't get to go retroactive from 4 days later. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah. And there's different things like I could have, the kid that brought it up, I could have gone after him and said like, like I think he's like, we made a mistake obviously, and like, but like the way you're doing this is like you're maliciously trying to get me DQ'd because I beat you. And so it's like there's other things, but I don't,
I want to fight that guy like right now, by the way.
no, but I think to be honest, like I played with him, I've met him, and I've been around him a bunch, and I think he was doing it like in a sincere out of his heart, because like even once I added it up and went through it and found out like I couldn't have gone home and put my head on the pillow and said like, no, it was an 8. Like I knew it was a 9. And
Right.
so like I had to say something about it. And that's what sucks is like, I wish there was something where I could have been like, hey, look, we made a mistake. We went through it, and, just assess me the shot. We already went through all the stuff. Like everybody added it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't trying to cheat. Yeah. I cheat out of a shot. Like I made the cut by 2 strokes. So it's not like I just barely made the cut. Like,
Or that got you to make the cut. Yeah.
yeah. And so it's like, there's like, they deemed like, like it's not like I did it maliciously or anything. It's just the way the rules are worded and the way that it goes through it. It's better for the game if it's just you signed it, you did it wrong. It's a DQ. And it's just because you would have too many guys that would be on the other end of the spectrum trying to fudge a number here or there. And then it's like, oh, you caught me, just add 1, and so that's the tough part with it, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot through those. So I'm gonna count better. The next week I made a double. I just made a 6, and I was like counting it on my fingers. I was marking scores. Like I was doing everything.
You gotta get the clicker.
Sure. Yeah, I've got to get something.
Or your bead, like Club Pro guy. You got the bead after
exactly. Just start.
Go up and down.
I'm gonna start having tees in my pocket and just like move 1. Okay, that's 1 shot. That's
I've been there. 8s and 9s. It gets, strokes get blurred together once you get up that high. I've been there.
And with 2 doubles and a free drop from a temporary obstruction, like a weird ruling, like there was so much going on. But yeah, I mean it sucks because I made no money that week and finished 23rd. I got no points.
The points part's what sucks.
Points sucks. I went from, I would have been 43rd on the money list. No, I would have been 40th on the money list to 53rd. So I went from, with 2 tournaments left, knowing I was inside the cut and was going to keep my card. And now I'm fighting for a spot, you know, in the top 25 or, you know, whatever, to now I've got to make the cut next week just to keep my card.
Right.
And even then, like I barely made it through those 2 weeks. I made 1 cut, missed 1 cut, finished like 57th.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was funny though. I thought about your guys' comment with the scorecards. I was waiting for Nate to say something. I was waiting for to get a text message from him.
You
saying,
baited him.
Just sign your card, dude.
Just count it up, dude. I mean, just count right.
So
No, that was great. That was the timing was just incredible. It was literally like the week after that or something like that. That episode, it was crazy.
My life seems to be like that. I'm really impeccable with my timing. So one of these times you guys are going to say something stupid like, hey, you're going to make a hole in one with a driver or something, and I'm going to do it.
I know.
And it's
it
just
just
going to be
happens.
like, it's just, I don't know what to tell you.
You're going to make a hole. You're going to hit a hole in one with a 5-iron tomorrow. So
that would be cool.
Or today, when you're listening to this, Graysen will have hit a hole in one with a 5-iron. So get some rest, play good tomorrow, and we'll be talking soon. Really appreciate it. Guys, thanks for listening tonight. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Bet Online, and we are the Dad Bod Golf Pod, and we're always
stroking.
Graysen's never stroking. All right, bye.